Okay, so welcome to the first video of 2020. And this series of videos is going to be called Going with the Flow. If you want to learn a little bit more about going with the flow, then just look into my next video, which is just going to be talking about it and not actually doing the work. Here, we're going to get into the work of the movement through yoga. So this is all about the winter aspect and the winter aspect of energy and bringing that winter energy onto your yoga mat. So this is a very simple series, and it's a simple series of yoga asanas or yoga exercises that are going to work this winter energy. So let's get at it. Bring yourself to the top of your mat, and at the top of your mat, bring your hands together in your Anjali Mudra. So this Anjali Mudra, it's all about balancing the energies. Balancing the energies of the feminine and the masculine, of the right and the left, and just keeping that good balanced energy in the body. So let's start here in the Anjali Mudra. And let's take 3 deep breaths just to get ourselves into this space and onto this mat. So 3 deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. Just keeping the jaw soft, the lips soft, the whole body soft but yet stable. Just feel yourself grounding into this space, this mat, and deeper into the body's energy. And in your next in-breath, you're going to take a deep breath in and reach your arms up above your head. You're going to pause just a little bit. And as you breathe out, you're going to bring the hands back down to the chest, and you're going to step your left foot back, turning into what I call a variation of the goddess pose. And here you're going to stay for 3 deep breaths. When you breathe in, keep a little pause on the in-breath, and when you breathe out, keep a little pause of the out-breath. And this is working on this element of pausing, which is very important in the winter. Just taking that extra little break, that extra little pause. So 3 deep breaths here. Pause. Pause. And then once you've done the 3 deep breaths here, you're going to take a deep breath in, reaching your arms up, and then turning your toes to face forward. And then as you breathe out, you're going to bring your hands behind your back, and you're going to clasp your fingers. So like this. And then you're just going to lean forward into this forward fold. And what's really important here is keeping the lift in your shoulders, the lift in the chest, and then just letting the head hang, pushing through and grinding through those feet, lifting up and using your inner thighs and your outer thighs. And again, you're going to take 3 deep breaths here. Remember the pauses between the in-breath and the out-breath. 3 deep breaths. So in, breathing in, pause. Breathing out, pause. And after you've done the 3 deep breaths here, you're going to take a nice deep breath in, bringing your arms towards your butt. And then bending a little bit at the knees. And you're just going to release the hands and then just swing yourselves back up to the goddess pose. Now this is another variation. So then you're going to take 3 deep breaths here. Remember the pauses in the breath. So you breathe in, pause, breathe out, pause. So everything on this winter element is all about just going a little bit slower, little bit deeper, and just kind of getting into that mood of the winter heat or the winter solace. And then we're going to take a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe in, reach your arms up, bring your hands together, and then you're going to turn back to the front. And as you go down here, as you breathe out, you're going to take your hands down, bringing yourself over the forward leg. And if you need to, just bend your knee here. It doesn't matter. Just make sure your feet, both your feet, are standing and grabbing to that mat. So you're not lifting your back heel, and you're really squeezing with those inner thighs. So you're really imagining bringing the energy into the middle of the mat. So you can stay here with your hands close to the chest, or if it feels good for you, you can open up and bring the hands behind you. So doing the same Anjali Mudra, the same gesture, just keeping your hands here. So if this is too much for the shoulders, then you're just going to bring your hands back. And here you can let yourself fold as much as you want to, folding forward and just keeping that balance. And then you're going to take, again, 3 deep breaths here. And those 3 breaths are going to include that pause in the breath. So you breathe in, pause, breathe out, pause, breathe in, pause, breathe out, pause. And then as you breathe in on the last breath in, you're going to bring your hands back down to the mat and grab with the fingers, or whatever you, if you want to block, put a block here. And then you're just going to lift that back foot and step back to your downward facing dog. And as the head hangs here, you're going to grab that mat with your fingers. You're going to push through the feet. If you can't bring your heels down, that's okay. Keep the knees bent if you need to. Otherwise, you're just going to pull those thigh bones back and really squeeze those legs on the inner part of the legs and the outer part of the legs. And then 3 deep breaths here. Remember the pauses on the in-breath and the out-breath. So again, this is all about getting into this winter energy that is, the slower, more reflective energy, just feeling that body and feeling that heat as it moves through the body. Then in your next in-breath, you're going to bend your knees, and you can choose to walk, or you can hop forward to the top of your mat, and then just on the in-breath, bringing yourself all the way up, and the out-breath, bringing your hands back to the chest. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to repeat this whole series with the other leg, so the right leg. And this series, you can do as many times as you want. Maybe you only have time to do the right side and the left side, but please do both to, again, encourage the balancing of the energy. The feminine and the masculine, the right and the left, the up and the down, the sun, the moon, the heaven, the earth. And just do this series with 3 deep breaths. So I'll just go quickly through your right side. So I'm going to go to this side of the mat. So it would be this. You take your deep breath in, reaching up. And then as you breathe out, you're going to step your right foot back into the goddess pose. 3 breaths here with the pauses in between the breath. Then you take a deep breath in, reaching up. Toes forward. Breathe out, come all the way down to your forward fold. And here, you can let your arms go behind your back. So we did this where we did the hands behind the back here. Or if it's too much again for the shoulders, just bring the hands down. You can also grab onto your elbows. This is kind of a little bit more support for the shoulders. 3 breaths in this position. And as you breathe in, you're going to bend the knees a little bit and bring yourself up into the goddess pose again. This goddess pose, this variation. 3 breaths here with a pause in the in-breath, a pause in the out-breath. Then you're going to take a deep breath in, reaching up, turning forward to that front foot. And then as you breathe out, leaning over the forward foot. Now you can bend the knee if you need to. Just keep both feet on the floor and then just let yourself fold forward as much as feels comfortable for you. Hands can remain in front of the chest, or you can bring your hands to the back and just bring them up on top of the back here. And 3 deep breaths here. In through the nose, out through the nose. And again, remember those pauses between the in-breath and the out-breath. Your last in-breath is going to bring the hands back to the mat, lifting on your back foot and stepping back into your downward facing dog. Again, 3 deep breaths here. Grabbing that mat with your hands, pushing through your feet as best as you can. Keep the knees bent if you need to. And then a deep breath in, bending at the knees. Walk or hop yourself forward, bringing yourself up. Nice deep breath here. And as you breathe out, hands into the chest. So a goddess series going with this flow of winter. And I hope you really enjoy it. Just do the amount of time that you have, and hopefully it'll bring you some really good energy for your day. Namaste.